So, we talked about Marvel before. Might as well talk about the announcement that they made there with Avengers
Yes.
Doomsday. There, so there was a live stream that happened there. They put it on YouTube. They streamed it 6 hours. It was that they did this.
6 hours long. That's wild. Turns out there's going to be a lot of chairs in this movie.
A lot of chairs in the movie. A lot of chairs with names at the back of them. So yeah, they put out this thing there live stream that was 6 hours. I tuned into it a little bit because I was like, okay, they're maybe going to announce something. If they're doing a live stream, I assume maybe somebody's going to be coming out and maybe they're going to show a trailer or maybe something's
Somebody
going to.
came out for just a second.
Somebody did come out for just a second. Somebody did come out just for a second. It was Robert Downey Jr. there. And I didn't watch the whole thing. Some people maybe watched the whole actual thing. I was like, nah, I got other shit to do. I glimpsed it. I was like, all right, I'll wait till somebody says it online or because somebody's gonna talk about it online and report it already.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm not gonna waste my time sitting here watching this whole damn thing. But also people just sit here and watch, like you said, it was just chairs. That's what people watch. They just watch. I think every 15 minutes or so, they saw a new name there of the cast of Avengers Doomsday. So that's all this was. It was announcing the cast of who's going to be. So far, we know who's going to be Avengers Doomsday.
And I think they said that it's not everybody too. Like
Yeah.
they still have more to reveal at a later date.
So you see this kind of
Paul
going
Rudd's
on.
chair should have been really little.
Oh yeah, that would have been a fun kind of gag there if they did that. But for the most part, so all the Fantastic Four is going to be in it. All the
Yep.
Thunderbolts are the people in the Thunderbolts are going to be in it, with the exception of Taskmaster, which probably
Which I'm
means
happy about.
she's probably going to die in in the
I hope
movie.
it's in the first 5 minutes.
I think it is because you look at that movie and you go like, look at all the other scenes in that trailer. She is nowhere to be found in that
Yeah.
trailer. So I was like, she's probably going to die pretty quick in
I
that.
mean, and they did such a bad job adapting that character. I can't imagine there's anybody going like, "Hey, when's Taskmaster coming back?"
Yeah, so Taskmaster's gonna be in. So let's go back here. So you got Chris Hemsworth, who obviously he's coming back. He's gonna be Thor there. I think he's the only. Is he the only main Avenger guy that we've seen so far here? Well, yeah, because he was the only one. Yeah, because Mark Ruffalo didn't get announced with this one either.
Yeah, if you're talking about going back to like the first Avengers movie, yes, I do think he's the only name here.
Yeah. So Vanessa Kirby, we already know she's gonna be Sue Storm there. You got Captain America. You got Anthony Mackie there. Sebastian, like I said, the whole cast of Thunderbolts. Sebastian Stan, he's gonna be there. Letitia Wright, she's gonna be Black Panther Shuri there. Paul Rudd, Ant Man. Let's see, you got again another cast member from Thunderbolts, Ryan Russell. You have also I don't know Tanich Harada,
Tinoch Huerta, is
Tanakh
that how you pronounce it?
Quarta there, who he was Namor in Wakanda Forever. So he's going to be in here. People making memes about maybe maybe they're going to do the whole Sue Storm Namor dynamic. Maybe going to be
I
doing.
think, I mean, I think they could. I wonder if it's like because there's so many characters. I wonder if they do it, but it's only like a tiny bit. If it could come off as kind of random, without like a lot of time to dedicate to like Namor having a dynamic with the Fantastic Four. I guess who knows? Maybe he's got a lot of screen time and he's like one of the big stars of it. But just if it's like in the background, I do feel like general audiences might be like, what is going on there?
Yeah. I mean, hey, I mean, it's probably got to be all hands on deck. It's like we need your army. We need your
Well,
people here. We got to fight this big invasion coming to Doomsday, whatever he's got planned. So we need your help there. So you got, of course, Evan Moss Backer at the thing right there. Simon Liu, Shang-Chi, he's going to be in it. He's
yeah,
kind of coming. I remember they were talking about at first when this movie was originally the Kang Dynasty. I think the director of
yeah,
Shang-Chi, Daniel Cretton, was supposed to be the guy that
he
they would
was.
tap in to do the.
I think he officially had the job for a
Oh,
while
okay,
too.
yeah,
I think post all the Kang stuff kind of falling apart, they ended up changing stuff, and I don't know exactly when he came off, but I believe at one point they officially announced him as the director.
yeah. So Jonathan Majors fucked him over too. He's like, damn, man, I had that shit in the bag. I could have got this huge ass check. I could have been doing 2 Avengers movies, man. What the fuck, man? You fucking me over. But yes, Simon Liu, he's gonna be back there, which I like. I like Shang-Chi. I look good to see him back there.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him as the character a lot. I think the first half of that movie is way better than the second half.
Yeah,
But hey, you know,
yeah. The first half of the movie is a cool martial arts movie, and then it's like, what the fuck happened? Like, what y'all going to? I mean, I didn't mind the magical, mystical element, but then like it was the 2 armies fighting each other. I was like, oh shit. I was like,
yeah,
what?
probably one of the best examples of like soulless CGI fodder.
Yeah. I was like, and then Aquafina, you gave her a whole plot line when I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, and I liked her in the first half a lot, but then it
Yeah,
was,
I mean, I say to this day, I think that movie, you had the flashback of him as a little kid and his dad like kills all those guys in the bar. That movie would have been so much better if the whole climactic third act was just a fight between him and his dad in that bar. Keep it super grounded. That is the high stakes fight. Just don't none of the fan. I did not like any of the fantasy stuff. Like stay away from that entirely. Just give me a good martial arts movie about daddy issues.
yeah. I would have much preferred that. Great performance though by that actor there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That's that. All right. You got Florence Pugh, like I said. She's the new Black Widow from Thunderbolts,
Yep.
so she's gonna be in it. What's her name? I'm blanking on her name.
Yelena Belova.
Glowing over there. This was a big one. So this was Kelsey Grammer. A lot of people talked about this too. This started the lineup here. So we have past people from the X-Men movies who are going to be coming back and playing their characters. Further in this video, you're going to see James Marsden, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Alan Cummings, who people know Kelsey Grammer. He was Beast in X-Men 3. He also reappeared as Beast in what was it, X-Men: Days of Future Past, and then
Very briefly, and then and who would have thought that the post-credit scene of the Marvels would have been like the most important post-credit scene in like all of the Phase 4 and 5 movies.
yeah, he also recently showed up at the post-credit scene where a CGI Beast
Yeah,
there was just fully CGI, which I didn't really like. I thought he looked better in the
it's
makeup,
just
and
makeup.
yeah, I thought he looked much better there.
Me too.
Um, but I don't know, maybe Kelsey Grammer's getting too old to just stand around there in the makeup and all that stuff. I guess.
Possibly, possibly. I mean, I'm sure it's easier for a lot of these actors. I mean, I wonder about Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler as well, if that's going to be more CG than makeup. I don't know because I remember him not coming back for X-Men 3 being well, one, he hated Bryan Singer. Two, I think he also just didn't like having to sit in that makeup chair for so long. So I wonder if they'll do make or CG for him too.
Yeah. So yeah, Alan Cummings is gonna come back as Nightcrawler. I'm gonna show a video after this. He posted a cute little video of him in his house jumping around there. As there. I'll show that video. But yeah, Nightcrawler, James Marsden, who was Cyclops, and then Patrick Stewart, people know is obviously Charles Xavier. Ian McKellen is Magneto there. Again, this is not the
Maybe
full
he'll
cast.
die for the fourth time.
Yeah, people also pointed that out with this is what he's died 3 times now as that character because he died in X-Men 3, he died in
Yep.
Logan, and he died
Yep.
in Doctor Strange 2. Multiverse, he died as that character there.
You could maybe even argue four because like everybody kind of dies in the future part of Days of Future Past.
Oh yeah, that's true too. You could argue. So yeah, fourth part there.
So
Um
this would be five if he dies in this movie.
and people were saying so this is not the full cast. So people were saying like, well, what about are you gonna bring back Storm? Obviously if
I
you're gonna
bet they
bring back
will.
if you're gonna bring back all these people from the X-Men movies, well, Hugh Jackman, he's probably gonna get the call. Him, Jean Grey, Famke Janssen is not listed
Mm-hmm.
here as well in this. So that's also another thing. Also, who was the Ashmore that played Iceman? Which one was that Ashmore?
Oh, Sean Ashmore.
Sean Ashmore, him as Iceman. Uh, can't probably do Kitty Pryde anymore because now since it's Elliot Page, you can't do Kitty Pryde anymore.
Yeah, I'm guessing probably not. But to be honest, that character never had like the biggest screen time. I mean, it was mostly in X-Men 3, which people generally don't care for that movie anyway. And then Days of Future Past, but even that was still pretty minimal. So, I mean, of all the characters, it's probably not one people were begging for to return anyway. I think Kitty Pryde's, and you could say this about a few of the characters in the X-Men films, but Kitty Pryde is someone I think they could do much better
Mm.
depicting that character on screen.
So yeah, you got Kelsey Grammer there. Louis Pullman, who's going to be Sentry in the Thunderbolts
Yeah,
there. Danny Ramirez, who's the new Falcon there for Captain America.
yeah.
He's that there. Let's see, Joseph Quinn, who's the new Human Torch for the Fantastic Four. David Harbour, who's the Red Guardian again from Thunderbolts.
I got to roll my eyes on that one a little bit.
Hey man, they need all hands on deck, man. They need everybody they can get, man. Everybody was
I,
super soldier
you
serum,
know,
man.
yeah, I guess.
Winston Duke, who's M'Baku, who at the end of Wakanda Forever is now the new leader of Wakanda. He's the new ruler of Wakanda there. So it makes sense for him there. She's the character from what's her Ghost there? Hannah John. I can't remember.
That's another one where I was kind of surprised. Like, are people asking for that? Is anybody hoping to see that character come back more? I don't know. I don't know. I'm skeptical about that.
Tom Hiddleston there, who's Loki.
Yeah, his character hasn't died as many times as Patrick Stewart has on screen, but Tom Hiddleston, the actor, has posted like 4 or 5 like emotional goodbyes to the character on
mm,
social media. So it's another one where it's kind of funny. It's like I feel like we've made a you know, big thing of being like, all right, I'm putting it to rest. And it's like, no, I'm just kidding.
yeah. Who at the end of Loki season 2? Did you see Loki season 2?
I did watch that one.
So he becomes like what the kind of like the keeper of time, I guess, is what he becomes at the end, right?
Yeah, I mean it's like literally like he's like holding all of the like branches of the multiverse together as like a giant tree, which I mean I guess it makes sense that you'd have to address that if the multiverse is being destroyed, right?
Yeah. So that's where we saw him at the end. Loki season 2 is really great. I really like Loki season 2 a lot.
Yeah, that one of the best things Marvel's done in the entire post Endgame anything has been with the 2 seasons of Loki.
Yeah. So I really like that quite a bit. So yeah. Patrick Stewart, who people know, yeah, again, he's going to do this until he's already 80. He's going to do this till he's 100. Patrick Stewart, he's going to do this till he's 100. Same thing with Ian McKellen there, who's 80. Patrick Stewart's 84. Ian McKellen's 87.
That's crazy. It's
Yeah,
still getting these guys in here. I mean, it's what Deadpool kept saying to Wolverine, right? Disney's gonna have you do this until you're 90. But like I said, I think with them it might go even further than that.
yeah. Because this is fucking crazy. I mean, man, these guys. But hey, man, Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, they're still doing stuff. They're still out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, still looking good though. All
Patrick
right.
Stewart's still trying to ruin his own career.
Oh, what? Will you say that? What's he doing?
Uh, Coming back as Picard
Oh,
in
or
just like just a I mean, I'm sure it's got its fans. I just think was not a good not a good continuation of the character. And then as Xavier, I feel like those are just these 2 big notable roles that he did, and you just can't let him go. He's
mm,
like, let's do it. Let's keep going back. Let's keep doing another one.
mm,
Same thing with like if Ian McKellen ends up being in that Hunt for Gollum Lord of the Rings movie, it's like, guys, just let it go.
mm.
You had these great moments. Just please stop.
I don't know, man. Them checks must look nice though, man. A lot of zeros in the bank account, man. Checks must look nice.
I think it'll live long enough to spend that money. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, does Patrick Stewart does he have any kids?
I'm actually not sure. I'm not sure. That's a good point. I mean, hey, get stuff for your family, but I don't know. Maybe I just maybe get a better agent or just pick better, more interesting things.
Yeah. And I know Ian McKellen. I know he's gay, but I don't know if he adopted any kids or
Sure.
in vitro fertilization or anything like. I don't know about him. But yeah. Then here's Alan Cumming there, Nightcrawler. Rebecca. Oh, I forgot to mention. Yes, Rebecca Romaine
Yeah,
is
that's
coming back
interesting.
as Mystique. There, she's coming back as Mystique. Who she
I
also
did
came.
always like her as that character.
Yeah, I thought she was good. Yeah, she pretty good there. And she also reappeared in X-Men First Class. She reappeared as that character.
Oh, that's right. Because she's trying to look older to Magneto when he kicks her out of his room. That's right. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, so she was, and people like, oh, hey, that was a fun little moment there in X Men First Class. So people add that. So yeah, she's coming back there. Mystique, James Marston, as we mentioned, yeah, Cyclops is coming back there. Channing Tatum, there, who's coming back. He's gonna be Gambit, in that.
Wasn't just a one-off cameo, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they were like, hey, well, since y'all like him so much as Gambit, we're gonna bring him back. Hey, how about that, y'all? We're gonna do that with him.
It's it's interesting because I thought that was very fun in Deadpool and Wolverine, but I also thought this is like this is like a robot chicken sketch version of Gambit. I don't know how much I want to see him play like a serious Gambit in a serious story. Um, we'll see. We'll see. I'm skeptical on bringing him back for something that's not a comedy.
So you don't think he's gonna do his accent like he did in? He's gonna try to actually kind of actually sound more K instead of kind of doing a more cartoonish thing with it. You think he's actually?
I mean, on one hand, it, the joke version worked. On the other hand, would that fit very well into this big dramatic epic movie to have this like goofy caricature of Gambit in here?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that could come off as kind of cringy in the right. It's like it worked perfectly in Deadpool because Deadpool's irreverent and it's making fun of superheroes and it's it's supposed to be very silly and over the top. But if he does the exact same sort of presentation here, I feel like it could be jarring with the rest of the movie.
Mm. Yeah. So we'll see that. But yeah, he's coming back. Gambit there, so we're gonna get another live action adaptation of Gambit there. That so yeah, let's see. You got Pedro Pascal, of course, Reed Richards, fantastic, and big one right here, Robert Downey Jr.
The worst one.
He's probably just looking like, man, they really paying me for this. Like, this is fucking crazy. Man, they really paying me to do shit. Like, look at the face he makes. He's like, wow, yeah, I got away, man. I scammed these.
He's like, I can't believe I'm still doing this shit.
Yeah, like I bet if you add up all these people's checks, it probably still wouldn't have mattered probably as much as Robert Downey.
Probably not. Probably not. He might also be looking at Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart's chairs and shaking his head. It's like, oh man, I can't believe they got those guys in here.
Yeah, he's probably looking like, wow, that's my future. He's like, wow,
Yeah,
like I'm gonna come back as
he's
Tony
literally
Stark.
looking in the mirror.
Yeah. So there's just an announcement. Avengers Doomsday is in production. It's in production. They're doing it. This is a little bit of the
I've
cast.
heard the script still isn't finished.
Because this is supposed to come out next year. I think they already was it March maybe.
So, I think March or April of 2026. Yeah.
So they're supposed to do that there. Yeah. Some people are speculating that this is gonna be. It's like gonna be not really about Doomsday so much. It's gonna be like an Avengers versus X-Men film.
I think that's probably what it is, and it's probably going to be that Doom is well, okay, so the comic book Secret Wars that this is all pulling from, right? The second movie's titled Secret Wars. The whole thing is the multiverse collapses, one kind of new world gets made out of it, and then at the end, it kind of the multiverse is like recreated. And but the what happens is the comic uses it as a kind of soft reboot and a bit of an excuse to bring characters from different universes together. So like Miles Morales, right, who's from the Ultimate Comics universe, they've used that comic as a way to get him into the main universe. So I think the whole point of doing this is really just to make X-Men and Fantastic Four exist within the same universe as everything else. Like all of this is just a way to reboot the MCU, and now everything is in one place instead of having to do like, oh, the X-Men are from the Fox dimension and that's a different world, and this is their way of getting rid of all of that stuff.
Mm. I think so too. I think it's a way that you could say to pull everybody in from Fantastic because it seems clearly Fantastic Four in their own universe
Yeah,
in this retro type '60s thing. Um, and then also it's going to be X Men. We saw it, like you mentioned, at the end of the Marvels, where at the end of the Marvels, there we saw that she got teleported to another universe where there's Beast and there's the X Men there. as well. So you got that kind of going on. So yeah, that seems like that's kind of what they're doing with that. Um, are you any way excited to see some of these characters come back, return? Because it's not going to be the same people from the X-Men movies that we know. That's the thing with doing the multiverse thing is like, well, we're
Right,
playing on your nostalgia of these characters, of these actors playing these characters, but not really playing the same character. Because like Hugh Jackman and
right,
Deadpool Wolverine wasn't the same Wolverine from the 2000 X-Men movies that we knew.
right. Because that one died in Logan, so it was a whole different version of Wolverine. And we know that it's also not the X-Men that would be from that other Wolverine's universe because they all died, and that was part of the point of that Wolverine. So these X-Men aren't even from that version; they'd be a whole other one entirely. Plus the Xavier that was in Multiverse of Madness, well, he croaked. So yeah, how many versions are you going to introduce here? Is the question. I don't know. I can't say I'm really that excited. I mean, like, look, I hope they pull something off amazing here. Um, I hope they do. But what my gut is telling me is that they are relying on nostalgia too much here. I mean, I think the Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Doctor Doom. I think already am not a big fan of that choice. I think that's just nostalgia for what used to be the face of the franchise. And I think that I think that doing all this X-Men stuff, it could be good. Yeah, it could be. But I have a feeling, one, I think they're going to kill a lot of them off because the whole thing's going to be collapsing the multiverse, and then things can kind of get a reboot at the end of these two movies. So it's going to be a lot of these characters you've seen dying again. I feel like it's just going to be like, all right, you know, cool, I guess. Um,
Because Cyclops has
yeah,
already died once, and uh,
that's one of my only hopes, really, maybe with the movie is maybe we can finally get Cyclops to do something cool in live action. So I feel like that's just has not happened. Like, look at what X-Men '97 did. Give me that. Let James Marsden be like that version of Cyclops. But it's also the thing where it's like you've got all these people, and they said this isn't even everybody. We're not even done announcing the cast yet. How much screen time really are all of these characters going to get? You know, like you can only have so many characters be leading characters. Like that even goes for stuff like Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Like, yes, were those casts massive? They were, but you still kind of had a sense of like, hey, we have these six characters that were the main characters of the first Avengers, and even though other people get their moments, I feel like there was still a core of those six, and everybody else kind of weaved in and around them. So, some maybe characters like Rocket got like a really big beefy role in Endgame, but for the most part, it was still mostly those original set. And here, I don't know. I just have no idea who is going to take center stage, and that I think is one of the things that concerns me. Is you can say all these names and put all these people in here, but outside of I guess probably Anthony Mackie, outside of him, who else is going to be the focus? You know,
mm.
and how much meaning can all these X-Men actors like are Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart going to show up and just get blown up after 5 minutes? Because I'm not going to care that much if that's all that happens.
Mm. Yeah. And you mentioned because even with as massive as this cast is, you do mention like we had going into Infinity War and Endgame, we had a core set of characters, which were basically the same core people we saw in Avengers. Now all
Yep.
those actors aren't here anymore, and then ever since Endgame, it's been okay. Who's gonna replace these people? Who's gonna be the new core of how many? What was it? It was six of them, right?
This is core six.
How many six of them are? Who's gonna be replacing them? And who's going to be stepping up there? Is it going to be Brie Larson? Is it going to be Anthony Mackie? And is it going to be Tom Holland? I think Chadwick Boseman, if he hadn't passed away, I think it would have been him.
I
Uh,
think he would have been like I think he would have been the Robert Downey Jr.
yeah,
type figure going forward. I think honestly they probably were depending on him to like lead the entire MCU going forward. I think they really were behind the scenes.
yeah. I think he was going to be the guy primed to take over. I think he really was there. Yeah, and it's like, okay, who's the new? Because we don't even know if there is an Avengers anymore. Like that's kind of
Right.
up in limbo as far as that goes. So it's like there's that. Uh, and then like you
The
said,
president that asked for it to start happening had to resign because he turned into a Hulk.
yeah, he destroyed the White House. Yeah, and yeah, so he did all that. So it's like that's not even a thing. And as big as it's like, we still, I mean, obviously Tom Holland's gonna be in it. Brie Larson's probably gonna be in it.
I've heard that his filming for the Odyssey might conflict with the filming schedule for this movie, so it might. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard it might be a lot of like a stunt double in a suit and him not taking the mask off much.
Well, that probably, I mean, people might like that. So,
I mean, I think he takes the mask off too much, so I actually would think that's a good thing.
yeah, so people might not mind that there. But yeah, so there's him. Obviously, Brie Larson's gonna be in there. Who's another major figure that didn't get announced here? That's probably gonna be here. Maybe Mark
Um,
Ruffalo is probably gonna be in it.
Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, I'd be surprised if he doesn't show up somewhere. I I think there's no way that Deadpool doesn't come in. I don't
Deadpool.
I don't I think he'll for sure. And I've been saying this for years, but there is no way in my mind that Disney, as big a corporation and with profit driven decision making as they are, I don't think there is a world in which they pass up the opportunity to have Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman on screen together.
Oh yeah,
I think that absolutely is going to happen.
yeah. They're gonna toss a lot of money to bring them back in this. Yeah, because some people, it doesn't even have to. The quality of the movie doesn't even matter. It's like, but they got Tobey Maguire and Jackman, and they understand that's what my 10-year-old self always wanted. It's like, oh, okay.
You know,
Sure, yeah, go ahead, go for it there. But
it's going to look like Photoshop from 2007.
yeah, it's gonna look like one of them. We about to talk about. It's gonna look like one of them AI trailers that people make, superhero movies, where it's like, oh shit, it's Tim McGuire and Andrew Garfield and all this. It's gonna look like that
Yeah.
shit. With that, yeah, I mean, is it cool to see these actors come back as these characters? I mean, I did like Deadpool and Wolverine, and it was fine. But again, it's not the same character; it's a different character. So it's like,
No.
you can't really have that much of an emotional attachment because you're trying to borrow from the other movies and what they did and
Yep.
building up these characters and trying to do it. So it's like it's not real. So it's kind of cheap what you're
It is
doing
cheap.
with that. Yeah.
And that's why I maintain I think Deadpool and Wolverine is maybe the only one of these movies that's really worked for me because it's not trying to be deep. It's a comedy, irreverent comedy. It's just kind of making fun of these types of movies. It's making jokes at the expense of other movies that do stuff like this. So it really only to me it really only works in that context in which it's not trying to take itself seriously to begin with. As soon as you start expecting this to be dramatic and have real stakes, I feel like it kind of falls apart. Um, and also, can we just acknowledge how absolutely hilarious the like what at the time felt like kind of a touching tribute to all of the Fox X-Men during the credits of Deadpool and Wolverine. How funny that is now
Mm,
that the entire cast has come back. It's like you weren't saying goodbye. You weren't saying goodbye at all.
yeah. That Green Day song that played. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, man. So it's like, oh yeah, these were fun movies and yeah, it's
Yeah,
like, oh
at the time watching it in the theater, I was like, you know what, that's kind of sweet. It was nice to close the chapter on this with a little tribute like that. And then it's like they're all coming back 2 years later. It's like, okay, all right, well,
uh,
I guess there is no goodbye until the actors actually pass away. And even then, maybe not.
yeah, you can CGI something. You can have them come back as a ghost or some shit like that. Like there's always something.
Ever since Rogue One, man. Ever since Rogue One did that to Grand Moff Tarkin, it's been on the table.
I think, did it get announced that Benedict Cumberbatch? I think they said he wouldn't be in it, or Doctor Strange wouldn't be in it. I think maybe or something.
I heard something about him, but I mean, who knows? I'm sure they're just trying to. I'm sure they're trying to keep it under wraps. Whoever else they have, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, people just sit there watch Chairs. Y'all watch Chairs, and people going like, "This is terrible for Marvel. Like, what the hell are you doing? You didn't show no footage, no nothing, no do a big announcement or anything. Just like this could have been a press release, really. I mean, you could have.
Could have been a press release, but the thing is, when it comes to like actual view numbers, I think this is the most watched like Marvel live stream.
Yeah, It was, yeah, it did.
It's
So
crazy. From now on, let's stop. Let's stop when something is boring. Let's stop comparing it to watching paint dry and comparing it to watching a Marvel live stream.
Marvel, what you're watching chairs. You're not watching paint dry. You're watching chairs there. Um, uh, look at some of these comments. So some of these comments was so you have this literally made me feel like a little kid again. Please, Marvel, please do not mess this up. You have that there.
They're gonna mess it
Um,
up.
the X-Men theme blending with the Avengers theme was too good for real. And then it says this person says the fact that the camera pans through the cast members' chairs serves as a teaser trailer. And no, it's not. That's not a teaser trailer. That's just an announcement. Like, come on, that's not a teaser trailer. That's just an announcement of who's going to be in the movie. It's not a teaser trailer.
I don't want to be mean. I don't want to. I don't want to rain on anybody's parade or like if people are excited about this, they're excited about it. But sometimes it feels like people will just be happy with literally anything. And I this feels like one of those moments where like I look around and I'm like, am I crazy? Am I unreasonable for thinking that there's really not that much excitement to be had about this? Like, is there something wrong with me that I'm just like, okay, fine, sure, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, I got to actually see a trailer here. Make a judgment of what's going on. I think it kind of reeks of desperation, bringing back Robert Downey Jr., bringing back the Russo brothers. But hell, the Russo
The
brothers,
entire X-Men.
the entire X Men. But hell, the Russo brothers, they can't even do anything else other than Marvel stuff because
Yeah,
Electric,
apparently.
all that shit's terrible. So it's like, yeah, fuck it, we need to come back. We can't do anything else. We need to come back there. So yeah, that's what we got there. And here's Alan Cumming here. So here's him as Nightcrawler right here. Got a little bit, still a little mobile. Yeah.
He looks like he's cosplaying as Waldo.
Yeah. I was gonna say he looks like the needle drop, Anthony Fantano a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
He kind of looks a little bit like him a little bit. I was kind of thinking.
I can see that.
But yeah, Alan Cummings there, who I think is in his 60s. I think he's in his 60s. Alan Cummings.
They're gonna use CGI for him too.
Yeah,
I'm putting money on it right now. He's not
yeah.
sitting on that makeup chair.
How old is Rebecca? Rebecca remains also in her 50s. 50s, I think.
I've got to be 50s, yeah.
Yeah, I think she's in her. Yeah, she's in her 50s.
She definitely seems to not have as much of a problem doing the makeup, at least at the time. But I mean, at the 20 years later, do you want to do it again? So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's CG used for her as well. Um,
Mm.
I mean, that's another thing too. Is like we talk about Kelsey Grammer looked better in practical than he did in the Marvels. And it's going to be a lot of CG. And again, with certain things, I'm okay with that because how else are you going to do? Some things are so fantastical you can't do them practically. But I think it's a lot of characters that could be practical, that are going to be done CG here, and how exciting is that going to be to see? You know?
Yeah. And this makeup, I mean, it still looks really good. I mean, you go back and watch the X-Men films, the makeup still looks
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
it's an incredible makeup job.
Yeah. And
And
there's
like
like a
oh sorry.
I was gonna say there's like a test screening of her like with the bob, like the Mystique kind of bob there
Oh
has
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that they never put in the movie. But I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say, I think that's honestly one of my favorite kind of, at least like aesthetic depictions of any of the X-Men characters. Because at the time it was all like, let's do the black leather suits, and we can't do the goofy comic costumes because I don't know, people won't take it seriously. But for Mystique and for that character, I do think the like nude body art thing worked really well because she's so like, it's the whole like extreme confidence in someone whose body is truly like mutated in an extreme way. And so that I always thought that was honestly creatively one of the best costume choices they made, even though it seems like it would be maybe a simple idea to have and it might be a little gooner targeted. I still think it worked thematically for the character really well.
Yeah. Because like Mystique actually, I mean, because it's like I think they have that in X-Men First Class. They talk about like, wait, so you're kind of naked all the time. They're like when you're actually, I was like, wait, you're just naked? Like what the fuck? Yeah.
Could not be more confident.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, sure. Yeah, I thought that worked really well there with that. I know Jennifer Lawrence, she hated it. She hated. I know she talked vocally about it.
Well, I hated her, so it's mutual.
Yeah, you didn't like her in as Mystique?
No, I know. I actually really didn't. And
Oh,
First Class is even a movie that I thought I think it's good. I don't think it's great. I think that I have some problems with it. One of them is her. I don't think her as Mystique really works in that movie very well. And the only movie that I thought she worked in Days of Future Past. That was the only one where I didn't dislike her. But every other time she showed up, I did not like her take on that character, especially then in Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. I was just like, every time she came on, I was like, please, can we get to something else?
oh yeah, oh yeah. She was terrible in those, but everybody was
And
pretty
to be
bad.
fair, so was everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, even in First Class, where I'm like, I think James McAvoy is really good, Michael Fassbender's really good, Kevin Bacon's even I think a very fun villain. Uh, yeah, I think First Class does its female characters really dirty, actually, because the way they did Emma Frost, I think, was also really weak and didn't do a great job selling that
Mm,
character.
yeah. So yeah, that was the announcement. Avengers Doomsday in production. And they're filming it back to back. They're doing Doomsday and they're doing Secret Wars.
They better get working on the finishing those scripts then.
Yeah.
They got to finish Doomsday script and then write the next movie. If they haven't even finished the first one, oof. I don't know. That's another thing that has me kind of skeptical. It's just like, because like, do you remember the CWDC shows tried to do like a Crisis on Infinite Earths adaptation, and
Oh yeah,
it
that
was
one.
fucking terrible. And one of the reasons it was terrible is because they didn't write a script first. They just called everybody and said, "Can you cameo in this?" And then they wrote the script based on who said yes.
Mm,
This is from Michael Rosenbaum's mouth because they called him. He did not appear in any of those episodes. They called him up and they were like, "Hey, we're doing this crossover. Do you want to be part of it?" And he's like, "Do you have a script I can read?" No. Well, then I'm not going to do it. And apparently, he's the only person that said no. But uh, it kind of like, yeah, it'll be a bigger budget and the actors are bigger names, but it's kind of reminding me of how poorly this was handled a little bit. And like, I don't want to be negative. I hope this is good, but my gut is telling me, remember, alarm bells are going off, going like, remember how bad Crisis on Infinite Earths was?
mm.
Could be history repeating itself.
Well, I mean, but they already kind of did. I mean, Infinity War. I mean, they did it with that, and that
They did
worked.
it, and they did it to great success. And I love those. I think Endgame might be the strongest movie in the MCU. I honestly really do. But it feels like they're trying so hard to do something they've already done. And again, getting the cast together before the script is finished. It's like, do you guys have an idea for a story, or is this just how much fan service can we pack into a movie? You know?
Mm, yeah. So we'll see. I think it'd be sort of like what happened in Infinity War. Like they're going to try to reach out to people, all these different kingdoms, and bring us like, oh, we got to do this, and then depending on what we see, what happens at Fantastic Four, what's going to happen at the end of that movie, and how they're going to get plopped in there, and maybe they're going to be serve the role that Mark Ruffalo did in Infinity War, of like warning people, like, oh, this thing is coming or some shit or whatever.
Sure.
Sure there. So
Definitely could be. Definitely could be.
yeah. So yeah, Avengers Doomsday in production.